What's up, guys? Bova the Fell-Handed here. I am starting a new series called MapQuest. Someone had requested, can you do some bad chat videos on, different maps to kind of show the different tactics you use, so on and so forth. So I just kind of decided to run with that, and I'm going to start doing a series called MapQuest, and in this series it's going to have a designated tank on a variety of maps. I'm going to try to cover them all. If I can. I'm not sure if I can cover them all. I'm going to do my best. I know they, Board Gaming pulled some of the videos, pulled some of the maps. At any rate, I'm going to try to do them all. Anyhow, moving on. Let's get to the game. Now, a lot of times mediums will post up right there. It's a D2. And try to get side shots and the guys crossing over. That's kind of dried up lately, and the reason for that is there's a place where there's a trench essentially, and when they cross they more or less hold down the entire time, so it kind of makes it pointless. I mean, if you've got an especially tough tank, you can roll through there and turn your turret to the right pointing towards us, and most stuff will bounce because obviously the turret is harder than the hull. At any rate, that's why I decided to just go down here. I said, hey, I'm gonna auto loader, let me go down here, let me lock this corner up, that way I can at least not necessarily stop people from coming, but I can I can do area denial essentially. I don't want them to push up, I don't want them to zone up in this area, so I just kind of said to myself, let me stop it. Now you'll see I just kind of sat there and dumped on the IS-7 there and just kind of ran through the drum, and the reason is I was in a very small location. As you can see, there's just like a little V through where he could shoot me, and I kind of just thought at that range there's a good chance the IS-7's gun wouldn't connect with me. I think either he was still loading or he decided that as well, that he might as well not even fire. In some cases like that, it's better off to not risk a shot versus stand in the middle there and get just lit up. So right now I'm just kind of backing up, taking another shot at that 45 Bravo. We'll get him off the map. We're doing really well here. This is a very strong spot. If you can get over here to it and be the first one in here, that's the big question. If you can get in this spot. Now it is good for long range, like what I'm doing here. It's not so good if they're in the corner there, say G5, G6. It's not very good if they are in that corner, because they can kind of bend the corner there and maybe put a round in the rear of the tank. Like I said, everything in this game is extremely situational. So right now I'm just kind of debating on exactly what I want to do, what I want to do with my guys, where I want to move the team and so forth. I'm playing with some new members, so we don't have the unit cohesion that you normally find, because we're kind of all over the map and people are doing different things. So if you're doing that, you also have to take that into account. Right now, we've got a Kenturian Action X back here behind us, and he is not in a good spot. We're sending our guy in the Leo here after him. He goes ahead and takes care of him, which really frees up some crossfire issues which I had. We just lost a guy, and I decided to go ahead and just empty the clip of this IS-7, make him pay for every single thing he's done. There's 3 in a row. I'm going to try to go ahead and put 4. It dispersed up to the upper plate there, and we went ahead and put the last one in his lower. So we pulled 4 out of 5 close range on a moving IS-7. I consider that a win. And you see the one guy is just moving up the IS-7 there, and I'm a little nervous that he's just going to come around the corner and start rolling us, because I'm empty, and the PTA there is the only other person who could do anything about it. At any rate, that was my concern at the time. the gun's nearing back up, and you know, we're ready to continue doing some work here. Put a round there in the IS-7 on the move while rolling. That is a skill I've learned that I have kind of developed but not actively worked on it, is aiming and firing while moving. I have watched some videos of some supers and they do that when the pressure's on, and I've started doing it and I've been very successful. You know, you need to aim in these shots, you know, unless you're firing at a light skinned tank or you've got a straight 90. You know, I don't recommend auto lock for anything other than, you know, using my snap lock method where you right shoulder to get the gun on a target and then you aim to fine tune it. So we've got some long range targets here. E5. Long range E5 is just a heck of a tank to duel with. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not crazy about it. I've got my Leo just making problems for him. I've got the Leo distracting him. I'm looking at the Yag. I decided to put another one in the Yag. It's risky business. That's exactly what it is, because I shouldn't have been monkeying around with that Yag, because he could have shut my lights out. I've taken too many risks, and I've kind of decided at this point I'm going to try to play it a little closer to the vest, because you don't want to go out there and you don't want to make these risks. I mean, you know, if you look at the risk versus reward, you know, it's not like I was going to pull up and clip him out. I was going to get one pin off of him, maybe, before I had to move, before I thought he was going to fire. So it's risk versus reward, guys. You don't want to do anything if you're not going to get a suitable payout. You're driving a bat chat, so you have an enormous clip potential, which you have to keep running in this tank in order, you know, for you to get the most out of it. You have to keep the gun running. And, you know, in game, like right now, you're not going to run up on anybody who's full health. At least you shouldn't. And that being said, you can do an enormous amount of damage. You know, you run up on a half health E100 with a full clip. Even if you bounce one, you're gonna kill him. So it's all situational. It depends on where you're at. This game is extremely fluid, so it's very hard for me to give you any hard and fast rules and say, okay, if you're in a bat chat, you need to go here. Okay, well, that depends. Are there enemies there? Do you have any backup there? So on and so forth. So it's extremely situational. So you have to be very cautious at all times, because you go into the same spot under different circumstances, you may get shut down rather quickly. And nobody likes just going in and just getting completely obliterated right off the gate. Nobody likes that. So we hip fired the first one, scoped him, and then just laid it on for the second one. So we had a very good game. We pulled 52, 56, 490 blocked. Guys, that's all I have for you today. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and look for the next episode of MapQuest.